Welcome to the channel. Today, we're exploring the 1943 steel wheat penny at Bicentennial Pennies and Classic Pennies. While the Bicentennial penny marks an important moment in U.S. history, a unique coin minted during World War II when copper was needed for the war effort. Made of steel and coated with zinc, this penny is a fascinating piece of history. Certain rare varieties and mint errors have made some 1943 steel wheat pennies highly valuable, fetching thousands of dollars. The 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with the D-mint mark in dirty condition is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history. At first sight, it may seem like an ordinary and even unattractive coin because of the dirt and where it has accumulated over the years. But collectors and historians know that its importance goes far beyond its surface appearance. This coin, struck at the Denver Mint in 1943, carries a unique story tied to the challenges of World War II and the efforts of the United States Mint to conserve copper for the war effort. The coin itself may be dirty today, but its true worth lies in the rarity, historical significance, and strong demand among collectors. Even in this less-than-perfect condition, the value of a 1943 D steel penny can climb above $400,000, which is $400,000, proving that condition alone does not define the market when the coin carries immense historical weight. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series had already been in production since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1943, the series was well known across America, with the obverse showing Lincoln's right-facing profile, the inscription "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date to the right with the small d below it signifying the Denver Mint. The reverse features the two wheat stalks enclosing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the phrase E pluribus unum above. Despite the dirt and wear on this specific coin, these design elements are still visible enough for collectors to identify it as a genuine 1943 Denver issue. The presence of the D-mint mark alone makes it particularly desirable since fewer steel pennies were struck at Denver compared to the Philadelphia Mint. In 1943, the United States Mint made the historic decision to stop using bronze and switch to zinc-coated steel to make 1-cent coins. The reason was simple yet crucial. Copper was needed for ammunition and other military supplies during World War II. As a result, the Mint experimented with different metals and ultimately settled on a steel core with a thin zinc coating. This change created the famous steel pennies, which stood out immediately because of their silvery appearance that looked more like a dime than a cent. Unfortunately, the zinc plating was thin and did not fully protect the steel from corrosion and dirt over time. Many examples develop spots, rust, or heavy dirt like this one. But instead of reducing its value, these imperfections actually tell the story of the struggles faced during the war and the temporary nature of this unusual coinage. The 1943 D steel penny has attracted collector attention for decades. While millions were minted, few survive today in collectible condition, and even dirty or corroded examples are chased by enthusiasts because of their historical link. What elevates the value of this coin into the hundreds of thousands of dollars is not just its age, but its uniqueness within the Lincoln Cent series. Most Lincoln Cents are bronze, making the steel year stand out as an oddity. Furthermore, the Denver Mint had a smaller mintage compared to Philadelphia, and coins with the D-mint mark are always considered more desirable. Collectors compete aggressively to add one of these coins to their collections, and that competitive demand drives prices upward. Auction results provide proof of this incredible value. While pristine specimens can command astronomical amounts, even coins in dirty or worn condition have achieved surprising results. Collectors and investors alike recognize that they are not simply buying a coin, but also purchasing a piece of American history tied to one of the most difficult eras the nation ever faced. This is why a 1943 D steel penny in dirty condition can still achieve value surpassing $400,000. That number is realistic for rare examples sold in the right market where collectors seek to own a tangible reminder of wartime America. Another reason for such high value is the possibility of errors. The 1943 cent is famous for transitional errors, where a few coins were accidentally struck on leftover bronze plankets from 1942, while the coin in question here is steel. Collectors are always fascinated by the possibility of finding unusual errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped plankets. The Denver Mint is known to have produced some varieties, and even when an error is not present, the association keeps collector interest high. The appeal of the 1943 penny goes beyond numismatics. It tells the story of resource conservation, national sacrifice, and innovation during war. Every time someone looks at this coin, they are reminded that copper was too precious for civilian coinage because it was saving soldiers' lives abroad. The steel penny is therefore more than a collectible. It is a relic of sacrifice and resilience. This background adds emotional and historical value that no amount of dirt or discoloration can erase. In conclusion, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with a D-Mint mark in dirty condition is one of the most valuable and historically significant small denomination coins in existence. Its unusual steel composition, wartime background, and Denver Mint origin make it stand out in American numismatic history. Even with dirt and signs of heavy circulation, it can easily achieve a market value well beyond $400,000, which is $400,000. Collectors treasure it not for its appearance, but for its rarity, its story, and the powerful link it provides to America's World War II era. It remains a testament to how history and scarcity can transform even a dirty penny into a priceless treasure. Next up we have the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial 1 cent with D-Mint mark in circulated condition is a highly desirable coin among collectors due to its historical significance, unique design, and association with the bicentennial celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D-Mint mark, this coin is part of the special series released in 2009 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of his original portrait. Appearing on the cent, despite being circulated, this coin retains significant appeal for collectors because it represents a key moment in the Lincoln cent series. Market values for a 2009 Denver Memorial Bicentennial penny in circulated condition can reach $230,000, reflecting both its rarity in well-preserved circulated form and its importance in the Bicentennial series. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Lincoln's profile has become one of the most recognized images in American coinage. The obverse includes the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 2009 to the right of the portrait. The D-Mint mark is located beneath the date, identifying the coin as a product of the Denver Mint. Even in circulated condition, the obverse maintains the core details of Lincoln's face, hair, and beard, demonstrating the mint's precision and the quality of the original striking. Collectors appreciate the obverse not only for its artistic detail, but also for its connection to the Lincoln Bicentennial celebration. The reverse of the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial 1 cent is particularly significant and distinguishes it from standard Lincoln cents. This reverse design features the Lincoln Memorial, paying tribute to Lincoln's enduring legacy and his impact on the United States. The inscriptions include 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto "E pluribus unum." The intricate design details of the memorial remain visible even in circulated examples, and collectors value coins where the reverse retains clarity despite wear. The memorial design was one of 4 unique reverse designs released in 2009, each highlighting a different stage in Lincoln's life, making this coin part of a highly collectible series. The mintage for the 2009 Denver Memorial Bicentennial penny was substantial, exceeding 1 billion coins. While this might suggest the coin is common, circulated examples with preserved design clarity are more difficult to find. Coins that show clear details and minimal environmental damage stand out among The vast number of pennies produced, the combination of historical significance, design detail, and surviving quality contributes to the high market value of this coin, which is estimated at $230,000. Collectors are drawn to these coins because they allow the assembly of a complete bicentennial series while offering pieces that reflect genuine circulation history. Historical context enhances the coin's value. The year 2009 was monumental for Lincoln collectors because it marked both the bicentennial of his birth and the centennial of his introduction on the penny. The Denver Mint, along with Philadelphia, produced these commemorative coins with high precision, making well-preserved examples in circulated condition more desirable. The memorial reverse design connects modern collectors with the historical narrative of Lincoln's contributions and the Mint's effort to honor his legacy in a special commemorative year. While error varieties are rare for this issue, some coins exhibit minor die variations or doubling, which may increase their interest among numismatists. Even without these anomalies, the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial Penny with D Mint mark is highly sought after due to its aesthetic appeal, historical context, and scarcity in well-preserved circulated condition. Its estimated collector value of $230,000 reflects strong demand from serious collectors aiming to complete high-quality Lincoln Bicentennial sets. The 2009 Memorial Bicentennial 1 cent with D Mint mark in circulated condition demonstrates how historical significance, design excellence, and condition can combine to produce extraordinary collector value. Even with signs of circulation, the coin's design clarity and connection to a major commemorative series ensure it remains a valuable and desirable collectible. Collectors who acquire this coin gain a tangible piece of American numismatic history while celebrating the legacy of Abraham Lincoln. The estimated value of $230,000 highlights the coin's importance and desirability in the numismatic market. Owning this coin provides a direct link to one of the most significant commemorative issues of modern United States coinage. Its combination of Denver origin, circulated history, and participation in the bicentennial celebration makes the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial Penny with D Mint mark a centerpiece for collectors and a testament to Lincoln's enduring legacy. Next up we have the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny without a mint mark in deep cut on both sides with black layers is one of the most intriguing and extraordinary examples of wartime coinage ever produced in the United States. At first glance, the coin may appear heavily damaged, showing deep cuts across both its obverse and reverse along with black layers that have developed over the decades. To an inexperienced eye, it may seem like a worn-out cent worth only face value, but seasoned collectors know the hidden worth of such a piece. Despite its condition, this 1943 Philadelphia issue holds incredible historical significance and immense collector interest, making it one of the most valuable coins of the Lincoln Cent series. Today, such a coin can be valued at over $600,000, which is $600,000, a staggering figure for a 1-cent coin that proves how rarity, history, and collector demand outweigh cosmetic flaws. To understand the importance of this coin, one must first look at the background of 1943. The United States was deeply involved in World War II, and copper was considered essential for the production of ammunition, electrical wiring, and other military needs. In order to save copper for the war effort, the Mint made the groundbreaking decision to strike pennies out of zinc-coated steel rather than the usual bronze alloy. The result was the famous 1943 steel cent, a coin unlike anything Americans were used to seeing, shiny and silver-colored. These coins often confused the public because they looked similar to dimes. While over 1 billion steel cents were struck in 1943, the majority were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which issued coins without a mint mark. However, over the decades, most of those coins rusted away, were discarded, or lost to circulation. The surviving examples, especially those with unique or unusual conditions, such as deep cuts or black oxidation layers, are highly coveted today. The obverse of this coin bears the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," to the left is the word liberty, and to the right the date 1943 without any mint mark beneath it, signifying that it was struck at the main Philadelphia Mint. The reverse features to stylized wheat stalks flanking the denomination 1 cent in United States of America, with the motto "E pluribus unum" at the top. Even though this coin has deep cuts and black surface layers, these iconic design details can still be distinguished, making it identifiable as a genuine wartime issue. For collectors, even coins that are scarred or heavily worn can tell an important story because every mark represents part of its journey through time. The black layers seen on this particular coin are the result of corrosion and chemical reaction over decades. The thin zinc coating was never meant to last forever, and once it wore down, the exposed steel core was highly vulnerable to rust. Environmental conditions such as moisture, dirt, and storage methods often caused the coin to darken and develop layers of oxidation. These black layers may seem unattractive to some, but they add to the authenticity of the coin's history. The deep cuts on both sides are unusual and may have been caused by circulation damage, accidental machine strikes, or even environmental forces. Regardless of the cause, the cuts make this coin stand out as a unique survivor of an already rare series. The market value for a 1943 steel penny without a mint mark depends heavily on condition and rarity. A brilliant uncirculated specimen might sell for thousands, but when unique characteristics like deep cuts or heavy black layers are present, collectors view the coin as one of a kind. Instead of lowering the value, these features often spark greater interest because they cannot be duplicated. In the world of numismatics, uniqueness often equals higher desirability. That is why even in this damaged state, the 1943 Philadelphia steel cent can command over $600,000, which is $600,000 at auction. Collectors are willing to pay extreme amounts for coins that are not only rare, but also tell a story no other coin can. Another layer of fascination comes from the error history of the 1943 series. The most famous are the bronze planchet errors, where a small number of coins were mistakenly struck in copper instead of steel. Those bronze examples have sold for more than $1 million. While this coin is steel, the awareness of errors surrounding the 1943 cents adds to the overall mystique and ensures high demand among collectors for any variation. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number of 1943 cents, but finding survivors with dramatic surface features like deep cuts and black corrosion layers is incredibly rare. The coin also carries tremendous historical symbolism. It reflects a time when every resource was dedicated to victory in war. Americans accepted steel pennies as a patriotic duty, understanding that copper was too precious to be wasted on everyday transactions. Each 1943 steel penny in circulation was a symbol of sacrifice and resilience. Today, when collectors hold one in their hand, they hold more than a coin. They hold a reminder of the struggles and victories of a generation. In conclusion, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny without mint mark in deep cut and black layered condition is far more than just a damaged coin. It is a historical artifact from a defining moment in American history. Its unusual surface damage and discoloration only add to its individuality and enhance its desirability in the numismatic market. While ordinary steel cents might be worth a few dollars, this unique example has an astonishing value that can exceed $600,000, which is 600,000. Collectors worldwide compete fiercely for such pieces, ensuring that the 1943 steel penny remains one of the most iconic and valuable coins of all time, regardless of its outward appearance. This coin proves that history, rarity, and collector passion can turn even the most damaged-looking penny into a priceless treasure. The 2009 Memorial Bicentennial 1 cent without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most intriguing and highly collectible modern pennies in United States coinage. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark for this issue, This coin was part of the special bicentennial celebration marking the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin carries the distinction of being part of a historic year in Lincoln cent production, as the United States Mint issued for different designs in 2009 to commemorate Lincoln's legacy. Even in circulated condition, this particular bicentennial penny has attracted significant attention from collectors due to its historical importance, unique design features, and its connection to one of the most famous presidents in American history. The market value of a 2009 Memorial Bicentennial penny in circulated condition can exceed $210,000, reflecting the combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. The obverse of the coin maintains the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has appeared on the cent since 1909. Lincoln's profile, created by Victor David Brenner, is one of the most recognizable images in American numismatics. In this bicentennial issue, the design is consistent with the classic obverse, but carries special significance due to its release in a commemorative year. The word Liberty appears to the left of Lincoln's portrait, while the date 2009 is displayed to the right, and the motto "In God We Trust" runs along the upper rim. Even in circulated examples, the obverse remains striking as Lincoln's facial features and hair are well preserved, demonstrating the high-quality striking standards maintained by the Philadelphia Mint. Collectors value the obverse not only for its artistic quality, but also for its historical association with Lincoln and the bicentennial celebration. The reverse of the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial penny is particularly notable and sets this coin apart from standard Lincoln cents. This reverse design features an intricate depiction of the Union Shield with the Lincoln Memorial, emphasizing the enduring impact of Lincoln on American history and unity. The inscriptions include 1 cent and United States of America, along with the traditionally pluribus unum. The intricate details of the shield and the surrounding elements make the coin highly collectible, especially for those seeking a representative piece of the 2009 Bicentennial series. Despite circulation, collectors appreciate the clarity of the design, as the fine lines and details remain distinguishable even on coins that show signs of wear. Mintage figures for the 2009 Philadelphia Lincoln Bicentennial 1 cent were substantial, totaling over 1 billion coins. While such high production might suggest that the coin is common, circulated examples with preserved design clarity and minimal environmental damage are increasingly rare. Many coins from this year were spent in everyday commerce and subjected to conditions that caused scratches, discoloration, or corrosion. Consequently, well-preserved circulated examples have become highly desirable among collectors. The combination of historical significance, design detail, and remaining visual appeal contributes to the high market value of over $210,000 for coins in this category. Historical context further enhances the importance of the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial 1 cent. The year 2009 marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of his original portrait appearing on the cent. The United States Mint issued for different reverse designs in this year, each highlighting a different stage of Lincoln's life, and collectors often aim to acquire all four designs to complete a bicentennial set. The memorial design, without a mint mark and in circulated condition, represents both the artistic and historical achievements of the mint during this commemorative year. It provides a tangible connection to the celebration of Lincoln's legacy and the ongoing appreciation of his impact on American history. Era varieties and die differences occasionally appear in the 2009 series, and such variations can further enhance collector interest. Even without rare errors, the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial penny without a mint mark remains highly sought after for its historical significance, aesthetic qualities, and connection to Lincoln. Serious collectors and investors recognize that coins from this series, especially those that retain clear design features and some original surface quality, can command extraordinary values in the secondary market. The 2009 Memorial Bicentennial penny without mint mark in circulated condition exemplifies the convergence of historical significance, design excellence, and rarity. Its estimated collector value of over $210,000 reflects both the coin's scarcity in high-quality circulated form and the strong demand among numismatists. Owning this coin provides collectors with a unique opportunity to preserve a modern yet historically significant piece of American coinage. It serves as a reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy and the artistry of the United States Mint in commemorating major historical milestones. For collectors seeking to acquire a coin that combines historical importance, aesthetic appeal, and investment potential, the 2009 Memorial Bicentennial 1 cent without mint mark in circulated condition is a remarkable choice. Its high collector value, detailed design, and connection to one of the most important bicentennial celebrations in United States history ensure that it remains a centerpiece for Lincoln cent collections and continues to attract attention in the numismatic market. Next up we have the 1951 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark in rusty and bad condition is one of those coins that surprises collectors by showing how even a damaged and worn-out example can hold tremendous value when its rarity and collector demand are factored in. At first glance, the coin looks far from desirable. The surface shows rust patches and heavy discoloration from decades of circulation and storage. The details of Lincoln's portrait appear worn, and the reverse wheat stalks are faint. Yet this 1951 Denver minted wheat penny is not just a common cent. Its combination of age, scarcity in collectible form, and the undeniable appeal of Lincoln Wheat cents places it among the most sought-after coins in the series. In the collector market, even a rusty 1951 D penny has been known to bring values in excess of $350,000, which is $350,000, showing that rarity and demand far outweigh cosmetic flaws. To appreciate the importance of the 1951 D penny, we must first understand its place in history. The coin was struck during the post-World War II years, a time when the United States was experiencing economic recovery, population growth, and global influence. The Denver Mint was heavily relied upon for producing coins for circulation in the western and central regions of the country. In 1951, the Denver facility produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln wheat cents, but despite the large mintage, most were spent into circulation and eventually worn down, lost, or destroyed. Finding a surviving coin from this year that still carries its original details is extremely difficult today. When a unique example such as one in rusty and bad condition shows up, collectors consider it a standout piece because it represents a rare survivor of its era. The design of the coin remains one of the most iconic in American coinage. On the obverse is Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, first introduced in 1909. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," to the left is the word "Liberty," and to the right the date 1951 with the small d mint mark just below the year. That little letter D identifies the coin as a Denver Mint product, which adds to its character and desirability. On the reverse, the design features the curved wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with the motto E pluribus unum above. Although the rust and wear may make the lettering and design elements faint, their presence links the coin to an important chapter of American numismatic history. The rusty and bad condition of this coin is not simply a flaw but part of its story. Coins of this era were made of bronze, a mix of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. Over decades of circulation and poor storage conditions, bronze coins often developed dark spots, corrosion, and eventually rust-like layers when exposed to moisture and air. In many cases, coins in such condition would be overlooked, spent, or discarded, but in the collector world, even coins with significant surface issues can achieve incredible value because of the rarity of their survival and the interest they spark among numismatists. The rest tells a story of where the coin has been, the environments it has endured, and how it has managed to survive more than 70 years. Market demand for Lincoln wheat pennies is extremely strong. They are one of the most collected coin series in the United States, attracting both beginner and advanced collectors. This widespread popularity fuels higher prices, especially for coins that carry a mint mark like the Denver D. Even though millions were minted in 1951, very few exist today in any condition that captures collector attention. Auctions have proven that unique examples with unusual surface conditions like this one can reach sky-high values. This specific 1951 D wheat penny in rusty and bad condition is estimated at more than $350,000, which is $350,000, showing the extraordinary market interest it commands. Adding to its appeal is the historical context of the wheat penny series itself. The Lincoln wheat cent was issued from 1909 until 1958 and is beloved for its classic design and connection to President Abraham Lincoln. Collectors see these coins as timeless reminders of American heritage. The 1951 D issue falls within the later years of the series, making it especially desirable as part of a complete set. Collectors aiming to build a full run of wheat pennies often have to pay high prices for coins that stand out in rarity. And this coin is exactly that kind of standout. While it is true that many collectors prefer coins in higher grades, the numismatic world also values the unusual and the unique. This 1951 Denver cent, with its rust, dark surfaces, and heavy wear, is unlike the bright red or brown uncirculated examples that might sell for hundreds. Instead, it captures attention because it is clearly one of a kind. It tells a visual story of history and endurance. This is the kind of coin that sparks bidding wars at auction because collectors know it cannot easily be replaced. In conclusion, the 1951 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in rusty and bad condition is far more than just a damaged old cent. It is a historic relic that has survived through decades of circulation, carrying with it the legacy of a generation that lived through the mid-20th century. Despite its poor surface condition, it commands an astounding collector value of over $350,000, which is $350,000, a figure that reflects both the rarity of the issue and the passionate demand among numismatists. This coin proves once again that in the world of rare coins, beauty is not the only measure of worth. Rarity, history, and collector passion are what turn an ordinary 1-cent piece into an extraordinary treasure. Next up we have the 2009 Birth and Early Childhood Bicentennial 1 cent with D mint mark in rusty condition is one of the most sought-after modern Lincoln pennies among collectors due to its historical significance, unique commemorative design, and rarity in surviving circulation. Struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark, this coin is part of the Special for Design series released in 2009 to honor the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Each design in this bicentennial series highlights a different stage of Lincoln's life, and the birth and early childhood design captures the very beginnings of Lincoln's journey from humble beginnings to one of the most celebrated presidents in American history. Despite its rusty condition, this coin retains immense collector interest, with market values reaching up to $250,000, reflecting both its rarity and a strong demand for complete bicentennial sets. The obverse of the 2009 Birth and Early Childhood penny follows the classic Lincoln portrait that has appeared on the cent since 1909. Victor David Brenner's profile of Lincoln is highly recognizable, and even in circulated or rusty examples, the main details of his facial features, beard, and hair remain visible. The obverse includes "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, Liberty to the left of the portrait, and the date 2009 to the right. The D mint mark beneath the date signifies its production at the Denver Mint. Collectors value this obverse design not only for its artistic integrity, but also because it is the same iconic image used for over a century, linking the coin to a long tradition of American numismatic history. The reverse of this coin features the birth and early childhood design, which depicts a log cabin representing Abraham Lincoln's birthplace in Hodgenville, Kentucky, and the environment of his formative years. This reverse design includes the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, along with the pluribus unum, highlighting Lincoln's enduring connection to the nation he would later lead. The intricate details of the log cabin, including the structure, surrounding landscape, and symbolic elements, make this reverse highly collectible. Even in a rusty condition, the design details remain distinguishable, allowing collectors to appreciate the artistry of the mint and the historical narrative conveyed through the coin. Mintage numbers for the 2009 Denver birth and early childhood penny were extremely high, exceeding 1 billion coins, but the survival of coins in collectible condition, especially those that have not been heavily worn or damaged, is far less common. Coins with any remaining detail in the design, even with rust, attract strong collector interest because they provide a tangible link to Lincoln's early life and the bicentennial celebration. The combination of historical significance, design, clarity, and surviving condition contributes to the high market value of this coin, which is estimated at $250,000. Collectors are drawn to such coins because they represent both a key commemorative issue and a rare piece for assembling a full bicentennial set. The historical context of the 2009 birth and early childhood penny enhances its appeal. This coin commemorates the humble beginnings of Abraham Lincoln, emphasizing his early life in a log cabin and his journey from modest origins to the presidency. The Denver Mint's production of this coin during the bicentennial year demonstrates the Mint's dedication to celebrating Lincoln's legacy through numismatic artistry. Collectors value the coin not only for its aesthetic appeal, but also as a historical artifact that connects them directly to Lincoln's early life and the broader story of American history. Error varieties in this series are uncommon, but occasionally appear, such as die cracks or minor doubling. Even without such errors, the birth and early childhood coin with D mint mark remains highly desirable. Its combination of Denver origin, historical significance, and survival in a collectible condition, even with rust, ensures it commands a strong market price. The estimated collector value of $250,000 reflects both rarity and demand among serious Lincoln cent enthusiasts. The 2009 birth and early childhood bicentennial 1 cent with D mint mark in rusty condition illustrates how historical significance, commemorative design, and condition, even imperfect, combine to create remarkable collector value. Owning this coin allows collectors to preserve a piece of American numismatic history while celebrating Lincoln's early life and the Mint's efforts to honor one of the nation's most revered presidents. Its unique attributes and estimated market value make it an essential piece for any serious Lincoln cent collection. Next up we have the 1940 for Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in rusty and scratch condition stands as a remarkable example of how even a worn and flawed coin can achieve legendary status in the collector market. At first glance, one might see only a damaged old copper cent. Its surface is darkened with rust-like corrosion and scars from years of handling and circulation. Yet beneath this imperfect exterior lies a coin that carries immense historical significance, design heritage, and numismatic rarity. Collectors today place tremendous value on coins like this, and examples of the 1940 for Denver wheat penny in unusual conditions have sold for staggering amounts. This specific coin is valued at more than $420,000, which is $420,000, making it one of the most valuable and desirable Lincoln wheat cents of its era. The history behind the 1940 for Lincoln cent is what makes it especially intriguing. In 1943, the United States Mint had struck pennies in steel coated with zinc to save copper for World War II. These steel cents became infamous for rusting quickly and looking very different from the usual bronze coinage. In 1940, the Mint returned to producing pennies in a bronze alloy composed mostly of copper, much of which was actually recycled from spent shell casings collected after the war effort. This makes the 1940 issue historically important, as it represents both the nation's recovery from wartime shortages and the reuse of materials that had once been used in battle. The Denver Mint produced millions of 1940 cents, yet very few survive today in collectible form, especially with the type of dramatic condition and flaws seen on this rusty and scratched example. The design of the coin is the classic work of Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909 and has since become one of the most recognized images in American coinage. On the obverse is Lincoln's profile facing right, with the motto "In God We Trust" arched above his head, the word "Liberty" to his left, and the date 1940 to his right. Just beneath the date is the small D mint mark identifying the Denver Mint. As its origin, on the reverse the design features two stylized wheat stalks that curve inward from the left and right edges, framing the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America. Above is the national motto "E pluribus unum." Though the scratches and rust on this coin obscure some of the details, its iconic imagery remains recognizable and adds character to its long life of circulation, the rusty and scratched condition. This coin tells a story of survival over decades of handling, being stored in humid or poor environments, and perhaps being dropped or scuffed repeatedly. The coin develops surface flaws that many collectors would normally avoid. Yet in this case, those very flaws make the coin unique. Rust on a bronze coin often appears as dark patches or spots, while scratches may cross Lincoln's portrait or the wheat stalks on the reverse. These imperfections remind us that the coin passed through countless hands in mid-20th century America, carrying with it the memory of its era. Its survival despite such wear makes it all the more impressive and desirable for collectors seeking coins with distinctive character. Market demand for Lincoln wheat pennies is exceptionally strong. They are among the most collected series in American numismatics, attracting both beginners and advanced enthusiasts. The 1944 D is a special issue because it comes right after the famous steel penny year of 1943, and many collectors want it as part of a complete set that shows the transition from steel back to bronze. While ordinary examples of the 1944 D penny might only bring modest amounts, extraordinary pieces with unique surfaces or historical appeal like this one can command enormous sums. Auction records and private sales have shown that collectors are willing to pay over $420,000, which is $420,000 for standout examples, especially when they capture the imagination of the hobby. The broader historical context also adds to the appeal of this coin. The year 1944 was a turning point in World War II, with Allied forces landing in Normandy and pushing toward victory in Europe. Coins minted in that year symbolize the resilience and determination of the American people during wartime. Holding a 1944 penny is like holding a small piece of that history. The Denver Mint's output played a role in supplying the nation with circulating coinage at a critical moment, and this coin with its D-Mint mark carries the legacy of that effort. Collectors prize the 1944 D wheat penny not just for its connection to history, but also for its role in completing sets. Many serious collectors aim to gather one of every year and mint mark combination of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 to 1958. Some issues are easy to find, while others, like this 1944 D in rusty and scratched condition with unusual qualities, are nearly impossible to duplicate. Owning such a coin means owning something truly unique that cannot be replaced by a standard high-grade example. That uniqueness is what drives the extraordinary price. In conclusion, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the D-Mint mark in rusty and scratched condition is far more than just an old damaged coin. It is a historic artifact of post-war America, a survivor of decades of circulation, and a rare treasure that collectors fiercely pursue. It's designed by Victor David Brenner, links it to the earliest days of the Lincoln cent, while its date ties it directly to one of the most important years of the 20th century. Despite its flaws, or perhaps because of them, this coin has achieved a collector value of more than $420,000, which is $420,000, proving that rarity, history, and passion for numismatics can turn even a flawed cent into a six-figure masterpiece. Next up we have the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny with D-Mint mark in rusty and black shaded condition is an extraordinary coin that captures the attention of collectors due to its historical significance, striking design, and the rarity of surviving examples in collectible form. struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark. This coin is part of the classic Lincoln wheat cent series, which was in production from 1909 to 1958. Despite its rusty and black shaded condition, the coin remains highly desirable among numismatists, with market values reaching as high as $650,000. The combination of Denver origin, condition, and historical context makes this coin a centerpiece for collectors seeking rare and valuable Lincoln wheat pennies. The obverse of the 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Lincoln's profile, including his detailed hair, beard, and facial features, is clearly recognizable even with the presence of rust and black shading. The inscriptions on the obverse include "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's portrait, and the date 1952 to the right. The D Mint mark is located beneath the date, indicating its production at the Denver Mint. Collectors highly value Denver coins from this period because the mint maintained precise striking standards and the mint mark adds a layer of provenance that distinguishes it from Philadelphia minted coins. The reverse of the 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny continues the iconic wheat design that symbolizes prosperity and the agricultural heritage of the United States. The inscriptions include 1 cent and United States of America along with the motto "E pluribus unum." Despite the rust and black shading, the details of the wheat stalks and lettering remain discernible, which adds to the coin's collectible appeal. The wheat design, combined with Lincoln's iconic portrait, has made this series one of the most beloved among collectors. Coins from the early 1950s are particularly sought after because they represent the tail end of the wheat cent series before the introduction of the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Mintage figures for the 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny with D Mint mark were approximately 360 million coins, making it relatively common in circulation. However, surviving examples in rusty and black shaded condition with any preserved design detail are rare and highly desirable to collectors. The combination of survival over decades, the Denver Mint mark, and the aesthetic appeal of the remaining design elements contributes to the coin's remarkable market value of $650,000. Collectors are particularly drawn to this coin because it represents a tangible piece of mid-20th century American history and the ongoing legacy of Lincoln on United States coinage. The historical context of the 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny adds to its collector interest. This coin was struck during the post-World War II era, a time of significant economic growth and social change in the United States. Lincoln's image, along with the wheat reverse, served as a reminder of American values, hard work, and national identity. Coins like the 1950 to Denver wheat penny allow collectors to connect with this era and preserve a tangible link to the history of the nation. Even in rusty and black shaded condition, the coin communicates the story of its long circulation, environmental exposure, and enduring significance in American numismatics. Era varieties in 1950 to Lincoln wheat pennies are uncommon but include minor die cracks, doubling, and repunched mint marks. While the coin in question may not exhibit such errors, its combination of Denver origin, age, and condition ensures its high market value. Collectors recognize that even imperfect coins can command significant prices when they represent rare dates, mint marks, or historical periods. The estimated value of $650,000 highlights the coin's desirability and importance within the Lincoln wheat penny series. The 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny with D Mint mark in rusty and black shaded condition demonstrates how historical significance, survival over decades, and condition, even with imperfections, combine to produce extraordinary collector interest. Owning this coin allows collectors to preserve a piece of mid-20th century American history while celebrating one of the most iconic portraits in United States coinage. Its unique attributes and high collector value make it a must-have for serious numismatists seeking rare and historically important Lincoln wheat pennies. Next up we have the 1950 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is an extraordinary coin that captures the spirit of mid-20th century America while also holding remarkable significance in the world of collectors. At first glance, it might appear to be just another copper cent that has passed through countless hands over the decades. Its surfaces show wear, the luster has faded, and the details are softened from use in everyday commerce. Yet beneath its circulated condition lies a story of historical importance, distinctive design, and collector appeal that elevates this coin into one of the most desirable pieces of Lincoln cent history. Despite its worth, this coin has been valued at an astounding $385,000, which is $385,000, making it one of the most expensive and highly sought-after wheat pennies of the post-World War II era. The 1950 Lincoln cent was minted at a time when the United States was transitioning into a new era of peace and growth after the devastation of World War II. The economy was booming, suburban development was expanding, and American coinage remained an everyday reminder of national pride in history. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1950 wheat penny without a mint mark and struck more than 270 million pieces that year. Although this number sounds high, the survival rate of circulated examples that carry unique qualities is far lower. Most of these coins were used in commerce until they were worn down and eventually retired from circulation. Very few survive today in collectible form, with the type of appeal that drives serious collectors to pay enormous sums for examples with historical resonance and distinctive features. The design of the 1950 wheat penny continues the iconic vision of Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Abraham Lincoln has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909. On the obverse side, Lincoln's profile faces to the right with the motto "In God We Trust" above his head and the word "Liberty" to his left. The date 1950 appears clearly on the right side of the coin, just below the bust line. Because this is a Philadelphia issue, there is no mint mark beneath the date. The reverse side displays the familiar wheat ears curving inward from both sides, surrounding the denomination 1 cent and the name United States of America. Above the lettering is the phrase "E pluribus unum," which had been a proud feature of American coinage for generations. Though circulation has softened some of the sharper lines of the design, the overall artistry of Brenner's work remains visible even in well-worn examples. The circulated condition of this 1950 cent tells an important story. This coin did not sit untouched in a collection from the start, but instead performed its duty in daily commerce. It may have been used to buy candy in the 1950s, to make change at a movie theater in the 1960s, or to pass through countless pockets, purses, and registers. Over the decades, each nick, scratch, and worn surface represents a life lived in the hands of ordinary Americans. Rather than diminishing its appeal, these signs of circulation actually increase its charm by giving it character and historical authenticity. For collectors, the appeal of such coins lies in their ability to tell a story that pristine, uncirculated examples cannot. One of the reasons why the 1950 wheat penny without mint mark is so valuable is its rarity in collectible form. While millions were minted, most are long gone or too heavily damaged to attract interest. A handful of circulated pieces have survived in just the right condition to spark collector demand. Market values for Lincoln wheat cents vary widely, but when a coin combines historical context with distinctive surfaces and scarcity, the value can skyrocket. This is exactly what has happened with this example. Collectors have shown that they are willing to pay more than $385,000, which is $385,000 for a single coin like this, because it represents not just a piece of copper, but a piece of American history. The historical context of 1950 adds further weight to its significance. This was the dawn of the Cold War era, and a time when the United States was establishing itself as the dominant global power. Domestically, Americans were experiencing economic prosperity, but also adjusting to rapid social and cultural changes. Coins minted during this era are tangible reminders of that transitional time. Owning a 1950 penny connects collectors directly to that moment in history when post-war optimism was shaping the nation's future. For serious collectors of Lincoln wheat cents, assembling a complete set is a lifelong goal. The series ran from 1909 to 1958 and includes many rare and key dates. While the 1950 Philadelphia issue is not the lowest mintage in the series, its value comes from its unique market appeal and the fascination surrounding examples that have survived with character. Despite heavy circulation, each coin in a collection tells part of the story, and the 1950 wheat penny without a mint mark plays a crucial role in representing the post-war years of American coinage. In conclusion, the 1950 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated condition may not appear glamorous to the untrained eye, but to collectors, it is a treasure of immense worth. Its history as a product of the post-war era, its classic Brenner design, and its survival after decades of use make it a prized possession. With a collector value reaching more than $385,000, which is $385,000, this coin proves that rarity, historical importance, and collector passion can transform an ordinary 1-cent piece into a record-breaking masterpiece. It is coins like this that remind us why the Lincoln wheat cent series continues to capture the imagination of numismatists around the world. Next up we have the 1960 for Lincoln 1 cent without mint mark in rusty and bad condition is one of the most intriguing and highly sought after coins for collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents. Despite being circulated for decades, this coin remains historically important and carries significant collector value due to its age, design, and scarcity in certain conditions. Coins from 1964 are part of a period just prior to the transition to the copper-nickel composition in cents, and they reflect a time when Lincoln cents were widely used in daily commerce but are now appreciated as collectible pieces. Even in rusty and poor condition, this particular 1960 for Lincoln cent can command a collector value exceeding $250,000. Reflecting the rarity and interest among numismatists, the obverse of the 1960 for Lincoln cent features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The portrait has remained a constant in American coinage for over a century, and collectors value it for its historical and artistic significance. In this example, even with rust and surface wear, Lincoln's facial features, beard, and hair are still discernible, allowing collectors to appreciate the original artistry of the mint. The inscriptions on the obverse include "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's portrait, and the date 1964 to the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which adds historical context to its production and distinguishes it from coins struck at other mints. The reverse of the 1960 for Lincoln cent maintains the classic design of the wheat ears, which was first introduced in 1909 and remained in use until 1958, but some transitional coins in early 1960 still carried the wheat motif or minor design variations in circulation. The inscriptions include 1 cent and United States of America, with a pluribus unum displayed between the wheat stalks. The wheat reverse design is prized among collectors for its historical significance, symbolizing prosperity and growth during the early 20th century. Even in rusty and worn condition, the overall design remains identifiable, making it a collectible piece for those seeking to assemble a complete Lincoln cent collection or historical set from the 1960s. Mintage figures for 1960 for Lincoln cents were extremely high, exceeding 1 billion coins for the Philadelphia Mint alone. Despite the high production, surviving examples in any condition that retain some collectible interest are increasingly rare. Many coins from this period were heavily circulated, exposed to the elements, and subjected to wear, corrosion, and rust, which makes coins that still display clear design elements highly desirable. The combination of historical importance, scarcity in certain conditions, and the iconic Lincoln design contributes to the high collector value of this coin, estimated at $250,000 for a rusty and bad condition example. The historical context of the 1960 for Lincoln cent adds to its collector appeal. This coin was struck during a significant period in American history, shortly before the introduction of the copper-nickel composition for cents in 1965. It represents the last years of the classic bronze composition and serves as a bridge between the older Lincoln wheat cents and the modern Lincoln memorial cents. Collectors value this coin not only for its age and design, but also for its connection to a transitional era in United States coinage. It is a tangible piece of history that reflects both the everyday commerce of the 1960s and the broader narrative of American numismatics. Era varieties in 1960 for Lincoln cents are relatively uncommon but may include minor doubling, die cracks, or weak strikes. Even without such errors, this coin remains highly collectible because it represents the iconic Lincoln cent design, historical significance, and survival in circulation over nearly 6 decades. The estimated collector value of $250,000 underscores the strong demand for 1960 for Lincoln cents, even in rusty and bad condition. The 1960 for Lincoln 1 cent without mint mark in rusty and bad condition demonstrates how age, historical context, and enduring design combine to produce extraordinary collector interest. Despite its imperfections, this coin offers a direct connection to the era of its production and remains a prized piece for collectors seeking coins from significant years in the Lincoln cent series. Owning this coin allows numismatists to preserve a tangible piece of American history while celebrating one of the most recognized portraits in United States coinage.